Blah, season's greetings, ghouls and ghosts. It is the spookiest, scariest, cash grabbiest time of the year again. And to celebrate the occasion, we have 3 freshly dug up horror movies for you this evening. 3 bombs from Hollywood, long thought dead, that we decided to shock some life back into instead. Beware of a curse, a spell or a hex. You're about to partake on a journey with Caudry FX. Onward to my castle, which haunts the land, to the dungeon of direct-to-DVD and video on demand.
Hello and welcome to the second annual Spooky Specials. Usually I'll just get straight into the first movie, but something a little unusual happened after watching these 3 movies. Last year I didn't really see a connection between the 3 films, but this year we marathoned all 3 films in one day, and afterwards I was left a little conflicted about my overall thoughts. Essentially all of these movies get one thing right that the other didn't, and I'm going to break it down into 3 categories. 3 rules to making an effective horror film: the setting, the threat, and the tone. These movies only got one of these categories right, but fails in the other 2. So essentially, if you merged all 3 of these films together, you get a classic horror movie. But, well, this ain't the 70s. But without further ado, let's begin.
Welcome to my dungeon of cinema. Here you will find Hollywood's most treacherous horror cash-ins, unimaginative and cliché. Igor!
Yes, master?
What do we have first to unleash on our unsuspecting prey?
Product placement for something you'll never buy.
Now I've actually seen the sequel to Ouija, which is a prequel. I've talked about it in a previous video that I can't remember which one now, but I can't remember a single thing from it. Just that it was going really well, but then there was a massive exposition dump and then it was all dumb and boring. I respect Mike Flanagan, he's made some good ones, but we're not here to discuss Ouija 2, we're here to talk about Ouija 1. From the people who ran the Transformers film series into the ground,
Michael Bay and Hasbro Toys
and Blumhouse presents
Ouija.
Following the success of the Transformers series, Hasbro have been trying to adapt all of their toys to the big screen. Transformers, G.I. Joe, Battleship. Well, this is all a part of that, although their logo isn't at the start. Also, it's funny how this is the one produced by Michael Bay, when Battleship is the blatant ripoff of Bay's style. But anywho, back to toys. The movie starts with 2 little girls playing with the Ghost Skype playset. They go through the rules, spin the thing, say the magic words, like you're getting a tutorial on how to play the game, which feels like a product placement weirdly enough, even though Hasbro didn't shove their logo at the start. Then again, it'd be weird to try to make profit off of selling Ouija boards to children. Imagine getting that phone call from an angry mother. So anyway, girls are playing a Ouija, and when it's getting so on the edge of your seat, spooky tense, suddenly we get our first bleh!
What are you guys doing? Get out of here, Sarah!
The first fake jump scare of the film. Spooky demon girl ghost? Nah, just one of the girl sisters. And yes, it begins. Jump scares because jump scares. But anyway, fade to years later and she is now just finishing up on a Ouija session. Then she chucks it in the fire. Why didn't she just sell it on eBay? Have you seen those prices? And so, after burning the board, she is greeted outside by her other friend from the start, and she's asking why she won't come to the big game. And despite us getting the context of them as kids playing with the Ouija board, and a whopping 3 minutes later, we get this.
Remember that game we used to play where you ask questions about the future?
The Ouija board.
Yeah.
Alright, I've said on many occasions how much I hate false jump scares. It's garbage screenwriting. You want to know what else makes me rage? Is forced reminiscing for exposition's sake. Remember when we were kids and we played with a Ouija board? Well, that's why I don't want to go to the game.
I just don't want to go out tonight.
No secrets between us, remember?
Yeah, remember? We promised no secrets once.
You know you've always been like this, right?
Like what?
Just a total and complete spaz.
You're right, I'm being crazy.
Yeah, you've always been that way, as long as I can remember. Hey audience, have you figured out we're long-time friends yet? Despite the intro scene?
I have leftovers inside. I'm gonna rock it out.
How teenagers actually talk. Cowabunga, dude. Chill out. Spacious and bodacious. She is in the kitchen eating said leftovers when suddenly, ooh, the door's moving on its own. Goes to investigate and the outside door is open. And the most terrifying part, is her stone cold face when suddenly the stovetop turned on by itself. Oh, I'll just turn it off and walk over to here. Nothing on her face. Where is she even going? She just walks around where the script's telling her to. She goes to her room and Satan's battleship is back on her bed and unburnt, and she has a very appropriate reaction.
No.
And this time she looks through the thing and ooh! She takes all the Christmas lights down and Ouija. And now our whole spooky tale is set in motion, to which we should probably set up our bland main characters. Friend of the dead friend, played by Olivia Cooke. Air tanks from Bates Motel. Great show. Her younger sister who got yelled at for not being cool enough to play the game, played by Anna Koto, who is now famous for being a TikTok fruit booter. This guy, played by Darren Kagagozov, and the boyfriend of Hangy McDeadlight, played by Douglas Smith, who we will see later in the Bye-Bye Man. Bye-Bye Me, Baba Me, and Lynchite. And so now we're going to set up to all the characters' development. Happy couple are going to go on a trip even though it's just for the boys. Their friend wants to go to the big party even though they ain't feeling it. She just needs to party, otherwise she ain't a character.
You're a big girl, Liz. There's nothing wrong with flying solo.
Yeah, me showing up alone. It's not really a good look for me.
Now, where do we have reservations at? I mean, I'm not really hungry, but I'd like to have reservations someplace.
Then they get bad news. After the funeral, they're at their dead friend's house, Debbie house, and feeling sad, when suddenly we get more annoying forced reminiscing.
You're everything to her.
Mrs. G.
The hours you two spent here. In my 5th grade, you picked out your college.
Like, sure, after burying someone, you might feel like reminiscing the past to deal with the pain, but unless the girl inherited her deadpan expressions from her mother. I mean, look how much Olivia Cooke is giving this scene.
I just wanted to be there.
Counter that with,
I put these things together for you. Always remember her.
Olivia Cooke is way too good for this, and this is where the film loses in the tone category. It's such a snooze fest with its tone. Death in the aftermath of a character who is barely set up, and you feel nothing watching them feel nothing. Short while after, Lane and her BF are sorting out Debbie's house, like looking after it and stuff. Since nothing scary has happened yet, prime time to get the spookies going now. She asks him to do this.
Oh, and can you go around back and check the pool cover?
Yeah, I got it.
So we can all be like, oh no, is he gonna make sure the pool cover's on properly? Or will the demons make him all dead of drown go bye-bye, man? Nah, he'll be fine.
Hey!
Oh my god.
It's me.
Ugh. She is walking around the house wishing she was back on the set of Bates Motel, where things actually happen. The spooky, spooked up ghost lamp is flickering when suddenly, psych. Prob's a demon, but who cares? The closet gets all the attention. She is drawn to it. She was drawn to it in the wake, and she's drawn to it now. And what do you know? There's a mysterious Ouija board. Uh-oh. The only reason it's significant now is because of the friend awkwardly digging up the past of playing a Ouija board when they were kids to reminisce.
But wait, the reminiscing ain't done yet. Get ready for round 2.
What is that?
Something Debbie and I used to do ages ago.
It was a joke, right?
We pretended it was real. We asked the questions like, do I have a secret admirer? Will we be friends forever? Things like that.
Fuck me dead. I got it. Next, she is at the classic diner with her friends and she propositions that they all use the Ouija board to talk to Debbie.
The board, isn't that what you're supposed to do with it?
Yesterday you said it was just a game.
They just gotta know why she took her own life. And a cardboard toy sold by Hasbro is gonna give her the defining answers she's been longing for.
When I'm in that house, it just feels strange.
You miss Debbie. I mean, we all do.
No, this is different. I can't explain it. It's like she's there.
You don't have to keep doing this to yourself.
See what I mean by the tone? They're all meant to be teenagers. Puberty versus suicide. Give me something!
I guess I'm just not ready to let her go.
Neither am I.
Burning emotions, acting out, irrational thinking. We're about to watch these morons play Ouija hippos and unintentionally summon a demon. Can't it be done out of desperation and unclear thinking? This just feels like, yeah, like, we should use a Ouija board, like, yeah, talk to our friend, okay.
If we play the game and nothing happens, then I'll never bring it up again. But I really want to try, so will you guys just do this with me?
And look, already I'm going to point out the original Nightmare on Elm Street. That's a movie about teenagers in high school. One of their friend dies due to unexplained reasons, and everyone is devastated. The boyfriend is frustrated and lashing out. The main girl is pursuing an irrational cause despite no one believing her. And if the mother of the dead girl in this was like Nancy's mother when all the kids start dying, at least that would be something. My daughter killed herself for no reason. Maybe I'll find the answers in a bottle. But nah, we get monotone.
You're everything to her.
Mrs. G.
Always remember her.
But whatever, that's just the tone of this movie. Drab and boring. Now it's time to get into the threat of this movie. Night falls. The big moment. Everyone goes to Debbie's house to play Ouija. The music is swelling. Ooh, the dreaded, fateful night that will change the lives of all of these characters forever. And everything is tense.
I don't want to be in this house. Feels wrong.
Oh, good lord, why come then?
Look, this is where Debbie died. We have to play here.
How are you even supposed to talk to someone using a board game? Yo, can you hear me? Signal's real bad. I only got like 1 bar in here.
Exactly. Your sister wants to do this. So just zip it and go along.
When it should have just cut to the chase, we gotta drag it out. Just shots of nothing, walking around, looking. Oh wait, a jump scare's probably gonna happen.
Oh my god, jeez.
See? They only write these jump scares because nothing scary has happened since the girl killed herself. Had this whole situation been written and directed properly, the build-up alone would have been enough. If we spent a bit more time with the first chick, dealing with demon shit a bit before she died and none of the characters saw it, then we would know what the threat is and the characters wouldn't. So we would fear for them. But nah. We see nothing at the start, everyone's just monotone and flat, and the only reason we are having a Ouija board scene is because it's a Ouija board movie. 28 minutes in, better not waste the time of the audience and get to what the fuck the point of the movie is. They read the board and someone talks to them, just exactly what you'd expect. Is there a spirit here? Pfft, this is so stupid. Something moves and...
Okay, this is freaking me out. Let's just stop it now.
I'm sorry, just put your hand back, please.
Was that you? You guys! Who's moving the thing? It says, hi friends.
Hi, friend.
There's that damn stovetop from before. I wonder if the flickering lamp will return. When suddenly the boyfriend, you know, from Bye Bye Man, Don't Look at Mirror, Bad Spooky and Reflection go bleh. Good! Finally some actual horror shit! So why don't we dwell on this moment and try to figure out what's going on before Hey! Where's everyone going? Hey! There's an actual unexplained event! Oh god, everyone left. When there's an actual demon monster moment, when I hear a creak somewhere in the house, well let's just dedicate 15 minutes to walking around the house when bleh.
Hey. Oh my god.
It's me.
And so now they've bloody gone and done it.
Let's just forget the whole deal. Yeah?
Yeah.
The next day, Lane's Nana discovers the board and gives her a good talking to.
It was just once.
Promise me, Lane, do not go seeking answers from the dead. Get rid of the board.
Yeah, I will. I promise.
Well, it's too late now. See, this scene should have been way earlier. Like, she finds the Ouija board at the wake and goes, oh, I remember these. And then she takes it home and then the Nana tells her,
you should never touch these things. Do not go seeking answers from the dead.
Which gives her, like, you know, temptation, a better character motivation than, hey, you guys, let's ask Debbie why she killed herself. If ghosts are fake, then don't worry, we won't do it again. Anywho, everyone starts getting a message from the ghost individually. The boyfriend of Lane is riding his bike and has to take a turn down Rape Alley. Like, look at it. There should be a warning sign saying caution, sexual harassment ahead. He gets off his bike and walks down it, crosses path with a jogging lady, then shopping trolley moved on its own. And written on the wall is, hi friend. This chick is finishing up at work and then bleh, the door shuts on its own. And then the script says that she is too weak to lift a plastic bin lid with one hand. And there's a flyer in a car window. But what do you know is written in the condensation. Hi friend. Bleh. But then nothing. Bye Bye Man guy is just, it's already scratched into his desk. And then old love is with her sister. Looks like there's a home invasion. Door shuts on its own. Then they recreate Halloween with getting into the closet, then they go out, and the Ouija ghost sent them an email saying, hey friend, is this gonna stir up some panic? No.
And I saw it too. Hi, friend. Carved right into my desk.
Did we all see it? Debbie's trying to reach us.
Jeez, we are halfway through this movie, and there is zero tension. Reminds me of South Park when they all take Ritalin.
What? We all have attention deficit disorder, so we all started taking Ritalin. It really takes the edge off, man. You should try it.
So that's why all you children are acting so damn boring.
That's correct, Chef.
Damn it, children, you don't need drugs to make you pay attention in school.
What could she want? If we want to know, we gotta ask her.
Hard cut to a second game of Ouija. Turns out they were not talking to Debbie last time. It was a spirit called DZ. And so they get started, and this DZ takes a seat. But then, why? Why? Okay, it wasn't our bland, boring friend. It's a spirit. Ooh, what's the spirit gonna say? That's interesting. What's not interesting is the spirit knocking the thing for no reason and then, alright, back to questions. They find out it's not Debbie via the boyfriend tricking the spirit with a question. He's like, remember that time we went to Lookout Point and we banged? And the ghost's like, sure.
This isn't Debbie. I never took her there. Not once.
Is this you, Debbie?
Yep, this ain't Deb's. And so, Lane looks through the glass piece, and there is no one in the chair. Looks around and, whoa, little girl with her mouth sewn shut.
What? Oh, and a demon mother. Whoa!
So, we begin the final showdown. Hey, where you going? We finally have demon stuff going on. Where's everyone going?
What happened in there, Lane? Doesn't matter because we're not playing anymore. We're walking away from the board, the whole thing.
Debbie played, and now she's dead.
Yeah, and now this demon can follow all of you around town? What's gonna stop it from walking outside the house and attacking all of you? Oh yeah, the unimaginative script.
We're finished with this, okay?
Yeah, everything's gonna be okay. Then it's back to boring business as usual. Everyone's back at skew and they're all looking at each other like, yeah, we've seen some shit. Life's changed forever, man. She saw a little girl with her lips sewn shut and something about a mother. Oh, and she saw it. Where's all the questions? What happened to the girl? Who's the old woman? What's the history of the house? Oh, we'll get to that, but not before. Just playing around with my computer. Thinking about stuff. Even Chief Brody was shocked after seeing the shark for the first time. Kind of changed his character from that moment on, you know? This, it's like, oh, demon goes, but I'm still sad. And then comes one of the most cringiest, frustrating ways to give exposition that I have ever seen. In the care basket Debbie's mum gave to Lane, it had a penguin keychain, which turns out to be a USB, which contains...
Operation Clean House. I get to clean the attic.
Ugh. It's not for YouTube, it's not for Snapchat, it's not for a personal message, it's just filming her own personal video diaries of cleaning up her childhood house.
She found it in her house.
And she strategically put all of the plot reveal information on this USB, filming herself playing the Ouija board alone.
Hi, friend.
I want to punch this movie. Next, the girl who has had absolutely nothing to do this entire movie dies. Flossing before bed when suddenly she has a stitched mouth. Whoa, flying up and blip. Oh no, my favorite character. She is such a nothing character that even the other characters don't give a shit about her.
You made us play. Now Isabel's dead.
I know, and I'll never forgive myself.
It's coming for all of us. So who's next?
Man, at least the first girl had a wake with people crying. It's only sad when the white girl dies. This movie's racist. Next, Lane is in the attic where the dead girl found the battle Ouijas, and she gets spooked by a spooky little girl ghost. Then she looks away, and then she looks back and the little girl ghost is gone. Which means all good, no ghost monster here no more. So let's go enjoy some more plot and exposition crap downstairs in the house that's haunted. They see photos of a little girl from like the 40s or something. They go on the Google and look it up. Yep, Ouija board, dead girl, daughter's still alive. It's Lynn Shay at a mental home or something. Now I'm gonna paraphrase everything up until the final showdown, and I'll explain why after. So Lynn Shay says that the mother messed around with spirits, used her sister to channel spirits, stitched the sister's mouth shut because she was a voice piece for the demons or something. There's a secret room in the house find the corpse of the sister, cut the string keeping her mouth shut so that she can be released, which is what they do, as you've just seen. But then it turns out she's a deceptive bitch that tricked them into releasing the evil, and now they've got to do something else. The reason I skipped over that is because of this blurb I read on Wikipedia. Although shooting officially wrapped in January 2014, poor test screenings resulted in reshoots occurring in June, which, according to Olivia Cook, resulted in half the film being reshot. With the reshoots, Lin Shaye was added to the film to play a newly written character. So not only was half of this film reshot, this whole character was added just for exposition. So what the hell was the film in the first place? The mother also wasn't in it, and Starlight from The Boys was in it, but was completely cut out.
Girls get it done.
So it was all about just the little girl, and that's why I skipped over all of that. This film is so horrifically boring, cliche, emotionless, tensionless, and 50% was reshoots out of panic due to poor test screenings. Somehow this is the better cut. But anyway, shit goes sideways, the boyfriend of Debbie goes bye-bye, man. Lin Shaye reveals her plan.
Your mother didn't try to hurt us. She tried to stop us.
Then it's off to see Nana for some exposition.
How? Your connection is through the board and that little girl's body. You must destroy them both.
What, destroy the body?
And the board. And you must hurry.
Okay, big showdown, finally! Boyfriend gets tricked into the back of the house. Oh look, it's the pool. Demon girl spooks him, which sends him flying to the pool. Yep, saw that coming. Then he shows up later covered in water, but goes bleh. Lane challenges the demon girl to a Ouija off. It starts breaking her hand when...
Yeah! Girls get it done.
They throw the Ouija board and the demon girl's real dead body into the furnace. Demon girl goes, and the day is won. And even though all of her friends died, that night she's flossing in the mirror and lets out this lovely smile. Goes to her room and, oh no, it's back! And no. They stole that ending from The Conjuring because they didn't know what the fuck it meant. And that was Ouija, one of the most bland, milquetoast horror films I have ever seen. Absolutely emotionless. And I pity the people who genuinely find this scary. Like, you can see the jump scares coming from a mile away. And like, going back to the 3 horror movie rule categories, I think the only one this film wins in is the setting department. Like, you'll never beat the classic of getting haunted in your own home. I know when the ghost comes to you, it's more scarier, but even then, this film did nothing with that. Oh well, on to the next movie then, I suppose.
Master, wake up.
That movie nearly put me in an endless slumber. Whatever happened to the girl who died at the start doesn't matter. Igor!
Yes, boss?
Our guests are not tormented enough. What other hideous nightmare do we have on death row? Maybe pick one with a little more energy.
Blumhouse presents Spin the Bottle meets Trollface.
So, Truth or Dare? When this trailer came out, I laughed and went pass. Selected it for this Halloween special, hoping to rip into it, but I kind of liked it. Don't get me wrong, as a whole it's kind of but what I took away from it is I actually liked it for the threat. For those of you who don't know about Truth or Dare, it's essentially about these teenagers who get trapped into a deadly game of Truth or Dare by this demon called Calyx. And it doesn't matter where you are, if it's your turn in this game of Truth or Dare, his face shows up on whoever is around you and asks you to pick. Sometimes it can even be your own reflection.
Truth or Dare, beautiful.
But all of this is perfectly demonstrated in the opening scene. Unlike Ouija, where it's dumb and vague, we just have an intro scene where nothing happens, and then another scene where nothing happens, and then the main girl kills herself and it's like, oh, what? Oh, Ouija. This intro scene, on the other hand, is great. It actually shows you what the threat is and how bad it can become. This disheveled girl walks into a convenience store in Mexico.
Can I get a pack of Morley's? Cigarillos? Comprende?
Si.
Looking like she's on the run when suddenly...
Truth or Dare, Giselle?
Please, I don't want to play anymore, please.
Truth or Dare.
And this is someone who is so far down the rabbit hole of playing this game. So when Calyx dares her to set another woman on fire, she just does it.
No! I'm sorry, I don't have a choice.
Truth or Dare. Another weird parallel with this movie is it sort of starts like Ouija, where one girl wants to socialize but the other doesn't because of reasons. Blonde and brunette too. But what you'll notice is these teenagers are way more spunky and energetic than the teenagers in Ouija. Such an insane contrast.
I love you so much. You know that. But I can't. I already signed up for Habitat.
I know.
Yeah, I'm a trip leader.
No, I know. It's just, this is our last spring break. And the thought of doing that without my best friend.
I mean, when you put it that way.
Yeah.
No, still can't.
Okay. Olivia?
I don't even have to go to the basketball game. We always lose. I'm just gonna come with you.
No,
and...
don't. I mean, my folks are gonna be home any minute, and I'm just being dramatic, and everything is fine.
But anyway, Blondie convinces Brunetti to finally go to spring break, and the rest of the gang shows up, and it's time to hit the road. What follows is just an opening credits / sort of character development montage. In fact, most of the first 10 minutes is just,
Woo! Spring break, baby!
Spring break, bitches!
with lots of these two can't stop being sexual like Morticia and Gomez Adams, blonde girl is unfaithful, main girl and blonde girl's boyfriend like each other, and this guy's a horny sex pest.
Hey, where's Marky? Maybe we could do like, a little menage a trois?
You know what? She's actually with her boyfriend, Lucas.
What about like menage a dose?
But then the main girl meets this guy. Also, I don't know who any of these actors are. Here's the IMDb list. After the night has died down, they want to keep partying. What are our characters to do?
There's gotta be an all-night bar around here somewhere.
We still have that tequila back in the room.
But it's our last night in Mexico. I don't want to go back to the room.
I know a place we can go.
No, thank you. But nah, it's a horror movie. So, this new guy leads all of our characters up to some abandoned ruins, or castle, or a church, probably. That becomes a plot point later. But anyway, they now have to figure out what the hell to do.
Yeah, let's play a game or something.
Oh yeah, like spin the bottle.
And on that note, let's,
As it starts to sound lame, it sounds even lamer.
And on that note, let's,
I was thinking truth or dare.
Yeah, nah, bro. But when it sounds the most lame,
Lame.
he convinces them with this watertight suggestion.
I know it's a kid's game, but I mean, if you play it right, it's a chance to expose your friends' deepest secrets, make them do things they don't want to.
Yeah, still no, eh?
That actually does sound kind of interesting.
Nah, still not. That being said, everyone's thoughts on playing a kid's game gets the appropriate reaction.
This is 7th grade sleepover, or?
Ouija, on the other hand, they're all monotone.
You ever feel like even after someone you love has died, there's still a way you can talk to them?
You can't do that, she's gone.
What follows is a totally fine game of truth or dare. Whole bunch of silly stuff happens, and it's also like a speed round for character development.
Brad, truth or dare?
Truth.
If you had to make out with anyone here, who would it be? It's okay if you're bi-curious. Dare.
Make out with Olivia.
Ronnie.
Why not? Just try. It could be fun.
Truth or dare?
Truth.
Are you aware that Olivia is in love with your boyfriend?
Oh.
No, she's not.
Come on, it's so obvious.
Truth or dare?
Dare.
I dare you to stop selling forged prescriptions to freshmen.
Fine. I make more money off upperclassmen anyway.
And yada 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 comes back around to the guy who invited them all up to play, and he picks truth.
What are your intentions with our sweet Olivia?
I needed to find someone with friends that I could trick into coming here.
So he has tricked everyone up here to play this truth or dare game, and then states,
I'm okay with strangers dying if it means I get to live.
and then legs it after giving Olivia a brief setup to the rules. You have to do truth or dare or you die. Are we all up to speed now? We did manage to get everyone cursed at the 20-minute mark. Ouija, 32 minutes. But one could say, hey man, like The Exorcist takes forever to get to the demon stuff. These movies aren't The Exorcist. Another weird thing this film also has in common with Ouija is once they play the game, they start seeing the specific phrase written everywhere in public. But this mostly happens with our lead Olivia, because she's the first one asked. But why I prefer this over Ouija is I like it when only the main characters can see the villain's shenanigans, but no one else does. It's good for adding conflict, and makes your main characters feel like they're going insane.
Hey, asshole. My desk and the flyer were harmless, but it's gonna cost me a lot of money to fix my car.
Okay, I am so lost right now. What are you talking about?
You keyed truth or dare into my car door.
There's nothing on your car.
Except your idea of a lame joke.
To which then the official game of Truth or Dare begins. Olivia enters the library and Calyx gets shit going.
Hey, Olivia. Truth or dare?
What did you say?
Truth or dare?
The more confused she is, the more she tries to palm it off, when suddenly everyone becomes possessed by Calyx and surrounds her.
Stop!
What secret does your best friend make you hide?
Marky's constantly cheating on
Turns out Calyx is a dirty bastard. And as I said earlier, this movie was actually fun compared to the other two films. A lot of the fun is not knowing when or how Calyx is going to show up and demand truth or dare from the players, which is perfectly fine, like Friday the 13th. You're pretty much just clocking time for when Jason pops up and kills a teenager. But also sort of similar to Nightmare on Elm Street, Calyx begins tormenting our characters sort of based on the characteristics. Olivia mainly gets tortured into ruining her friendship with her best friend.
He dared me to sleep with Lucas.
Why would you pick Dare?
Because of what Giselle said. If I picked truth, I was just forcing someone else to pick Dare.
How noble.
The sex pest guy gets affected because of a hot chick in the bar he was going to creep on, turns into Calyx.
Truth or dare?
Creepy and sexy. Let's do it. Dare.
The medical student dismisses the whole affair.
My friends really put you up to this?
How long have you been forging prescriptions?
I don't.
What are you doing?
So yeah, solid villain with clear intent. And also like Freddy, you can actually engage with Calyx.
This is a coincidence. It waits for our most vulnerable moments, and that's when it asks us.
Yeah, you got that right, Olivia. And now it's your turn.
So overall, not the biggest waste of time. So I'll spare a lot of the plot details just because I sort of recommend it. But this is a negative YouTube channel that trashes everything. So I gotta uphold my duty.
What?
Duty.
Going back to the 3 horror movie category rule. The movie is sort of all over the place with its tone, although any tone outside of dreary is fine. Shortly after reliving a horrible truth about Mackie, that's her character's name, I forgot to mention, in the library, it's now her turn to play Truth or Dare, and she picks Dare, thinking it's all a stupid game.
Break Olivia's hand. Obviously this was you.
Do you see me texting you right now?
And so at the start of the film, we see a girl who is so far gone that contemplating a violent act is second nature because she is so desperate to stay alive. Here, Olivia is like,
What are you doing?
You have to do it.
What?
You have to.
She's so gung-ho about letting her break her hand.
Ronnie didn't do his dare, and now he's dead.
I can't.
God, just trust me, Marky. Do it. Don't tell me you're a fucking coward like your dad.
Whoa! Her dad killed herself. Not cool, dude. But then everyone else runs away.
I can't deal with this crazy right now. I got a med school interview tomorrow. See a doctor.
I'm sorry.
Guys!
We gotta go to the hospital, okay? Come on.
And so, most of them fully get into it, people start dying, and when you think it's gonna keep getting more fucked up, like Mum and Dad fucked up, watch Mum and Dad if you haven't seen it. Don't look up shit and go in blind. Best way to experience it. The movie then feels like it needs to sprinkle in some melodrama. The more Olivia reveals horrible shit to her friend because Calyx dared her to, Mackie's all like, just fuck off, Olivia, don't talk to me, leave me alone. By this point, she should be like, that's fucked, but I get we are under hectic circumstances, so I'll let that slide. And one of the other things on top of that is this movie feels the need to constantly over-explain the gimmick. Like what this dude said at the start, I feel was enough.
Once you're asked, you're in. Don't tell the truth or you die. Do the dare or you die.
But she's so into it that she has to keep reiterating the rules.
Carter said, tell the truth or you die. Do the dare or you die. Ronnie chickened out. He did not do his dare and now he's dead. Carter told us the truth. The game is real. Then it was Ronnie's turn. He didn't do his dare and it killed him.
Maybe you and Ronnie shouldn't have answered.
Carter also said refuse to play and you die.
I kind of find it obnoxious in these movies when someone is so overly energetic about like constantly reiterating the rules. Like, oh my god, rules, we gotta stick to them. I'm sort of team leader because, yeah, rules. But anyway, skipping past the main story because, you know, give it a watch. Or don't. We're gonna touch on some spoilers to wrap up my gripes. So skip to this point to avoid the ending. So after many deaths, they track down this dude, then the girl from the opening scene comes into the story. They finally get around to how to defeat the villain, which is where this film kind of becomes disappointing. And I'm going to quickly elaborate on how this movie falls short in the setting department of the 3 categories. I like how they get messed with at school. It makes the threat even better when it follows you anywhere. Ouija, on the other hand, there's shots outside of school, but never goes inside. The Ouija girl monster didn't want to sign the visitor's book. That being said, this movie feels like it needed to take us to a spooky, scary location to be cursed. There's this moment at the start before they play the game. They are at this place partying and drinking when suddenly the night ends and they are spitballing what to do next. When this guy says, hey, I know this place, we should all go to it. And they just have to take the characters to a place that looks scary. Has to be old and creepy. And it really sets the tone that this is a horror movie. When a movie that literally has the gimmick of truth or dare why not just play the game right here at this bar? Because it's like, yeah, once they go to this haunted looking place, they all sniff out the red flags.
Get up early, so.
Yes.
Yeah.
You guys just got here.
But it feels like they could have played this game right then and there and get cursed right then and there. Like they all innocently walk into a life-altering trap. And when we get to the ending, it's going to prove that it doesn't matter where you are when you're asked truth or dare to be a part of this deadly game. But anyway, we need somewhere to have our climax. And so long story short, they meet this nun that played the game as a kid, woke up this Calyx demon by playing truth or dare with her little friends. The way they discovered how to defeat Calyx has to be roll on the exposition.
The person who released the demon can trap it with a simple ritual, but only by his own hand. This is the spell.
Must be repeated 7 times. Must be placed in a pot, sealed. As long as the pot stays sealed in the mission, the door will also be sealed. Have to do
What
this.
was it? The sacrifice.
And now it's like, oh, all of these rules. And to bring up Ouija again, this movie also has that moment where someone just hands them the checklist on how to defeat the demon just as they need it.
How? Your connection is through the board and that little girl's body. You must destroy them both.
Oh, destroy the body?
And the board. And you must hurry.
I don't know why these movies need some elaborate way to defeat the monster that is whipped out towards the end of the film. So, they trick old mate back to Mexico, back to the abandoned church, and then spring on him that he needs to read this thing in Spanish 7 times and cut out his tongue. At first he's like, no, but then he's like, sure. Somehow this fails, he dies, but then another interesting thing happens. After learning how Calyx plays this game, she then stumps him with this.
Dare complete, Calyx. Your turn. Truth or dare?
I'm not in this game.
No, once you're asked, you're in. Those are the rules, right?
She's onto his crap, reiterates truth or dare, to which Calyx picks truth. Like a f***ing chicken.
How do we get out of this game alive?
You can't. So now the game won't end until all the players are dead. Unless you find some new friends to play with.
And so, the way this film ends is actually pretty great. Rather than them just killing themselves, they have a different plan. Although a little cheesy, and pretty much it's just sequel bait, Olivia starts filming herself recounting the entire story, sets up what the deadly rules are, and then asks the whole planet,
I'm so sorry, but I have to ask you, truth or dare?
and anyone who watched the video is sucked into the game. And that was Truth or Dare. Fun little horror film. Sorry I had to skip over it, but when I like a movie, it's hard to rail on it for 30 minutes.
We now return for our final snooze fest, fright fest of the night. We have seen cursed children and sinister grins, but surely we have saved the spookiest special for last. Igor.
Yes, boss?
Unleash the final evil of the night.
Overthinking a villain. Coming right up, boss.
What the fuck is a bye-bye man?
And finally, we get to the Ba Ba Mayo!
Oh my, oh my, oh my, oh, now you're on my my, now you're my.
I don't know why it's fun to make fun of this movie's title, just the name is so unthreatening, especially when the main character is trying to research him in the library. And the Bye-Bye Man himself is an absolute mess. Apparently this movie is based on a short story, which means I'll probably be getting those comments. Hey man, Bye-Bye Man is based on a book. You suck, book is great, therefore movie good. You'd know how good it is if you read the book. But like, no one saw this movie, so we're prob safe, gang. But the biggest problem with The Bye-Bye Man is, well, The Bye-Bye Man. Out of the 3 horror movie categories, this one loses out on the threat. Like, as much as Ouija would have benefited from just summoning a cool looking demon that kills everyone, like the amazing short film Don't Move by the UK YouTube channel Bloody Cuts. Everyone go check that out, link in the description. Ouija's threat is like okay-ish. They just had no creativity or vision to make it good. Like sometimes it's a little girl, sometimes it's a little girl zombie, other times it's like a grown man in makeup that looks like when Scary Movie made fun of The Ring.
Get up, you little ugly bitch. Come on, let me see what you got. What you gonna do? That's all.
Truth or Dare had a sick villain, keeps you guessing, and is a genuine threat to all the characters. But at the end of the day, it just felt like it needed to over-explain its gimmick, and most of the characterizations are just energetic and frantic. Like, move, 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 do things, can't let the audience get bored! Where it's like, relax, you're already on the right page. Bye Bye Man, on the other hand, is pretty much the same plot as the other two films. Being cursed through something in an old house. Ouija board, old house. Truth or Dare, old church. Bedside table in another old house. This time the house is old and gross.
Bye Bye Man.
Once you're marked, the villain uses the power of editing to show up wherever you go. Ouija girl monster goes bleh, but then, nothing. Calyx Snapchat filters onto people's faces even while they're talking to you. The Bye Bye Man, you hear coins? You sometimes see his big bulldog, and then you know he's around. And what's unfortunate about this movie is that it starts really strong. We get an opening scene in the 60s. A car pulls up outside of a house, and who gets out of the car? Well, it's none other than Aussie horror treasure, Lee Winnell, the guy who spearheaded the Saw and Insidious franchises with James Wan, who later directed Insidious 3 and wrote the most laughable ending possible, but then later redeemed himself with Upgrade and The Invisible Man. Well, he's in this reminding that outside of being a writer and director, he also acts sometimes. But anyway, he shows up and then proceeds to question his neighbor if she said the name to anyone.
Did you tell anyone?
Did I?
About the name.
Oh, yeah, I told Rick. He thought it was funny.
We all know what the name is. Don't think it, don't say it. Well, spoiler alert, it's the pee-pee poo-poo face guy. And what proceeds is a very impressive one-shot of him wandering around killing people who know the Bye Bye Man's name. And halfway through this opening scene, I suddenly had a panic thought. I wish this was the entire movie. Why not a horror movie set in the bright yet simple yellow, brown, and green color palette of the 1960s? Why not just make this setting work? But nah, then we cut to present day where it looks like every other goddamn desaturated yet blue and contrasty horror film that comes out these days. And so, what can I even say about the Bye Bye Man that I haven't already said about every other supernatural horror film of the modern day? All this shit is just the same now. A couple move into a creepy old house with a friend, there's a thing that's cursed. Guess what happens? A paranormal entity begins stalking them, making them see things. Some people die, then they do some research and are given the rules. They attempt to defeat the monster with said rules once and for good. It seems to have worked, but nah. Set up for a sequel, and they all add in some element of something that happened in the past, just in case you want to make a prequel, or a sequel that can keep dragging out the mystery of the past. Does all that sound fair as a wrap-up? Because all of these movies are that. I did 2 paranormal demon movies last year, Leatherface was the exception. Here I've done 3, and I think that's a wrap on reviewing this subgenre. This is where this movie is sort of a joke from the rest of these films. As mentioned before, the villains of the other movies are fine, whereas the Bye Bye Man feels like they wanted a Freddy or a Pinhead or a Candyman. He has the silent thing of Jason or Michael, but they wanted all this extra crap. Where with Freddy, you start hearing scratches, then he shows up in your dream, and then you end up in his boiler factory. Pinhead, you gotta solve the puzzle, then these rotating things show up, and then Pinhead. And Candyman, well, don't think about saying his name 5 times, and definitely don't say his name 5 times. And cause then he'll possess you and then start killing people who's gonna make it look like it was you. Michael is, you cross his path and he kills you. Jason is, you go to his camp and he kills you. Well, what do you get from the Bye Bye Man? First you hear coins fall, then his fleshy meat dog shows up and scratches your front door. Then he shows up, and he looks like a homeless guy with scars on his face, played by Doug Jones, which you'd never know because the Bye Bye Man doesn't do anything, except for awkwardly walk towards you, but then, was just a fake out. That's the laundry list of what his callings are. But for the most part, his power is he just makes you see shit, mostly just to make you crash your car and die, or get hit by a train. Like he lures you into a dangerous hazard so that the coroner's report says that you're an idiot. The only thing I can sort of give it credit for out of the 3 horror movie category list is the tone. The actors' performances in this are surprisingly not that bad. Bordering on natural, one could say. The only issue is, what they're afraid of is just dumb. This movie's whole gimmick is, don't think it, don't say it. Like, it's just too ominous. Well, no shit you're gonna think about it, but does thinking about the name still make the Bye Bye Man come after you? Well, you've already thought of the name. How are you supposed to survive? And don't say it? Like, yeah, you don't say it to stop it from spreading, but it's easy not to say shit. It's like how you automatically know not to swear around your grandparents. Also, his dog, which is like what the main movie's threat is. He feeds you to the dog, or the dog's flesh is made out of his victims. So they keep trying to have the dog show up and do things. Pops out of this door at the start, scratches the entrance to the house, shows up in the wallpaper, and then this moment. The dog runs out onto screen and it's like, my god, the dog looks like PlayStation 1 graphics. It's like the Resident Evil games. Looks like the feet aren't even touching the ground. And yeah, for all intents and purposes, that's the Bye Bye Man. I just got nothing to say about the actual plot. This movie should have just been called Been There, Done That. This movie is so forgettable that I kept forgetting that this movie has actual celebrities in it. Faye Dunaway, Trinity Hogarth, Lee Winnell, who was the best part of this film, unfortunately. The movie keeps flashing back to him in the 60s dealing with the Bye Bye Man, and every time they do it, it's like, I want to stay in this movie. But then it cuts back and... boring. As for the setting, yep, they move into a house that just screams haunted. Or at the most, crackheads live in the basement. Congratulations, it already looks scary. So what do we expect from then on? The spooky haunted Bye Bye Man bedside drawer? Yep, that's so spooky and scary that it's hard to take seriously. And so rather than axing this from the spooky specials and just sticking to 2 movies, I'm just sort of going to touch over it as an example of these types of films and why I think I'm done with them. Out of the setting, the threat, and the tone, if you mixed all of these movies together, you would have a pretty solid horror movie. You have the threat of Calyx haunting you in your own home where you summoned him, and the tone is the descent into madness as he ruins your life.
Bye bye what?
Recently a poll happened that deems Sinister the scariest horror film ever because it raises your heartbeat or something the most out of all horror films, based on some people that watched it, I guess. I watched this movie years ago. I thought it was boring because it has all the jump scares and cliche tropes as all of these movies I've reviewed thus far. So, the only thing that's scary about these movies now is how the formula just never goes away. They never change it up. I think next year's spooky specials will be aliens and monsters. What do you all think? Anyway, we're done here. Chart a course for the set of the Paranormal Activity Ripoff Universe Part 2, to which most of that script is already written, so it shouldn't take too long for that to come out.
Well, that has brought us to the end of the Quarterly FX Spooky Specials of 2020. A ghoulish trinity of horror tales as old as time. Well, that felt long anyway. Tonight, you have fallen victim to generic jump scares, cringe-worthy cliches, and worst of all, ravenous reshoots. As you return to your regular lives, allow me to recount to you a message from the wise horror master himself, Bruce Campbell. Movies that are easy to make are hard to watch. Good night, friends and fiends. Put away your Ouija board. Wrap up your game of truth or dare. It's time to see Bye Bye Man. See you next year. Finally, this bullshit is over. Igor!
Yeah? What, you prick?
Fetch me a cigarette.
Lick my nuts.
What?
Just want to give a massive apology to everyone as to why this video was so insanely late. Blame it on love. And also, did you know that supporting this channel on Patreon helps these videos come out faster? You know, something to consider. Thanks for watching and look forward to Spooky Specials 3 coming out next year, probably even later. Goodbye.